I think that Rodgers can win 10 plus games with that team. That's one of his best teams because of the defense. Also, the Packers defense has let them down.
It's a very competitive division and conference.
But
Rodgers, New York.
I think come on.
Oh, hell, the mighty survivor of hell. Plop down from heaven to sail. Holy water that I scoop from the well. Fought tooth and a nail just to prevail. Monster ruthless as I move through the field. Feeling worried in a hurry like a 2-minute drill. To make a couple mil off a lucrative deal. Selling train of thought, name an artist who could derail. You never see it like a nigga hula hooping in jail. I got a friend smart as fuck, but he's stupid as hell. He swear to God ain't real, since it ain't no way to prove it itself. As if the universe ain't enough. As if the volcano.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 2-Minute Drill Podcast. This is episode number 5. If you've been watching from episode 1, thank you guys for riding it out. If you're a new viewer, if you're a new streamer, new subscriber to the show, welcome to the 2-Minute Drill Podcast. My name is Jacob. This is my co-host, Cyrus. Cyrus, how the fuck we doing? How are you today on this fine evening?
I'm chilling, man. It's a good day in the sports world. We got a lot of new signings.
Yes,
trades.
we do. Yes, we do.
It's an exciting day.
Very exciting day. It seems that as every day goes on, we're getting more news about football off season, and the NBA is always exciting as it always is. But for today's episode, we're going to keep our focus on NFL free agency and what's going on in the off season. And right off the bat, let's get into the first topic, brother. You ready?
Let's do it.
Let's go. So topic number 1. Last Friday, you guys may know already, a trade went down for the first overall pick of the NFL draft. The Chicago Bears traded that first overall pick to the Carolina Panthers. We'll break down what the trade looks like and everything like that. But in your opinion, who do you think won that trade? Do you think it was a fair trade for the first overall pick? Give me your overall thoughts on the trade that went down.
All right, so let's start off with the Panthers. So the Panthers trade 4 picks. So pretty much the trade was 4 picks for the first overall pick. Mm-hmm. The 4 picks were the 9th overall this year, the second round pick this year also, 2024 pick a first round, and a 2020 pick second round.
Okay.
So it's all within the next 2 years. But yeah, so they trade for the first pick, and I'm thinking, you know what? If you looked at their QB situation last year, it was pretty much split 3 ways between Walker, Darnold, and Baker.
Yeah.
It was a disaster. They haven't had a QB in a while, and so they make this trade for what seems either for C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young.
Yeah.
Both are fine picks, but what's weird is that earlier today, they signed Andy Dalton, and I know you may not care about this, but they signed Andy Dalton to a 1-year $10 million. I just don't see the reason for making that signing if you're just going to draft another quarterback.
Yeah, but Andy Dalton probably has a good 2 or 3 years left in the tank, and then what? They need someone. Even if, let's say they draft someone, Andy Dalton can maybe start a year max, but not even that. Whoever they're taking first overall, they're throwing in, and Andy Dalton will be the backup.
So it's
a good backup.
So you don't think they made the signing because they want to go a different direction?
Absolutely not. I heard some speculation that they might want to trade up from the first pick, actually, which I don't know why they gave up a plethora. I'm not going to say they fucking overspent for the first overall pick because it's the first overall pick. We're not even going to really see if it was a fair trade or not until a few years later and see how the Bears do and who they drafted those picks, how DJ Moore does on the Bears, and how that quarterback does with the Panthers. They gave up a lot, yeah. But that first overall player, whether it's C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young, could be a generational player. And their focus with making that trade was to get a quarterback.
Yeah.
They did it to get a quarterback.
What good is getting a quarterback if you don't give them the pieces? They trade your best skill player by a mile. I'm looking at their depth chart.
I couldn't name you a single weapon on the Panthers offense.
Laviska Shenault is he's not good, but he's notable.
Terrace Marshall, right?
There's also a guy named Shee Smith.
I don't know who that is.
Terrace Marshall Jr. It's a bunch of
they gave up a lot. They gave up a lot.
Yeah, and which is necessary for when you want the first overall pick. It is the first overall pick, but you're giving him nobody to work.
I think moving forward, the plan is after they get this quarterback, they probably will be in poverty for a good amount of time. The Panthers have always not, been so competitive, but this is the start of something fresh, and the focus should be kind of what the Bears do with Justin Fields. Build around that first overall pick. Mm-hmm. That should be the goal. That should be the focus. Forget about Andy Dalton, all these people. They don't have weapons. They traded away their best weapon. It was obviously a gamble, but now they could potentially get a generational quarterback, throwing them the ball for years to come. So the next priority, the next focus, because they also have a solid defense. Their defense is decent. They hired Frank Reich, who was actually the first quarterback to play for the Panthers, which is pretty cool. So they have all, they have the right things around that organization, but now the main focus should be to surround that first overall pick, whoever it is, with the right weapons moving forward.
All right, so let's talk about the Bears.
Yeah.
The Panthers. So the Bears, they already have a quarterback.
Yeah.
So we think he's the guy, right?
They're buying into Justin Fields, and I think they made the right decision doing that.
You think he's a game-changing quarterback, a franchise quarterback who can lead you to contention?
Yes. I think last year with the limited weapons he had and the amount of skills he displayed on the field despite losing, it's not even a debate. Justin Fields is he's going to be the Bears quarterback for years to come, and he's going to be their franchise guy. He showed enough potential with limited options, and now the Bears are finally making the right moves. They traded the first overall pick, and they fucking finessed DJ Moore. How do you manage to get DJ Moore out of that trade? That's the only reason why I think the Panthers are delusional, because they got rid of their best wide receiver, and now the Bears finally got a wide receiver one for Justin Fields. And
wide receiver 2?
Why it's debatable. Honestly, the way I look at it, wide receiver 2, wide receiver 1, DJ Moore's a freak talent. He's a really good wide receiver. He'll make big plays, and it'll test Justin Fields' ability to throw the ball downfield. I think it's crazy how one player like that really just shifts the way that wide receiver room looks. As before we said, all right, it's a very subpar, shitty wide receiver core with Darnell Mooney and Claypool. All right, fine, yeah, that's not that great.
Yeah.
But then you add DJ Moore into the mix, and just that one player makes it look like a whole different receiving corps.
Yep.
Now it's, all right, yeah, Claypool and Mooney can be the wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3. DJ Moore has the potential. I never said he was. He has the potential to be that wide receiver 1, and Colt Kmet has been a solid tight end for Justin Fields. He has pieces around him.
I like Colt Kmet. He posted a lot of donuts at the beginning of the year last year. I've been fan of disaster.
Oh, my God.
As the season went on,
That's touchdowns.
And as Fields started to get in stride, so did the rest of the offense, including Kmet.
Yeah. I think the Bears are finally. It's not even finally because they just drafted Fields. The Bears are making the right moves for their quarterback, and they're fully buying it to Justin Fields, which I think is the right decision instead of resetting and this. They got a fucking haul for. They still have the 9th pick this year,
which is low-key very good.
Yeah, that's a solid.
You use it. You can make a lot.
You can get a game-changing player with that pick, and they have. They've been making some moves in free agency, and they have capital for years to come. I think they're setting themselves up. They're still going to suck, in my opinion. I think Rodgers is leaving that division. The Lions are trending up. The Vikings were really good last season. They're probably going to build off that. And the Bears are kind of in the middle.
The Vikings, you never know. They won a lot of close games, a lot of 50-50 ball games.
Yeah,
you never know.
Yeah.
They might get worse by record. You never know.
It's possible. Honestly, in my opinion, I like the Lions.
That position is Lions. I like because there's also Jameson Williams, who's a stud.
Yeah, he didn't do
He's
much.
coming back.
Yeah.
I love him a lot. He was the best pass catcher in that draft, and he had to miss a year.
And he was hurt, yeah.
But that division is toss up. The Bears, it's possible. It's a pretty weak division. They could, maybe not contend for the division title, but they can give the Vikings, the Lions, a tough time.
Yes. Now, honestly, those divisional matchups will be much more competitive. It won't be the Packers winning every single divisional matchup. Now that Rodgers is inevitably going to be leaving that division. I think that with Fields throwing them the ball, he's going to constantly improve. He showed flashes as a runner, and now he's going to, because he literally had to run because he had no one to throw to, and now he'll be able to fucking throw the ball downfield, and they'll test how good his arm really is. And whether or not the Bears are average or decent or whatever, I think the front office did a pretty solid job so far, setting that team up for success for years to come. They have a lot of work to do, but
especially on defense.
Yeah,
defense was just bottom 5 of the league, especially against the run. Arguably the worst against the run.
Yeah. And they gave up a lot. They got rid of some key defenders last year, like Roquan Smith, Robert Quinn. But they're making the right moves. They're smart for trading the first pick, and honestly, for that haul, it's hard to determine whether a trade for the first pick is overpay or not. You won't know until at least a few years, see how those players perform. But in my opinion, the Bears fucking fleeced, especially with getting
great
DJ
start for the Bears.
It's a good start for the Bears. Yeah. Justin Fields should be fucking happy because they're treating the quarterback right, and it really puts things in perspective. Fields has been in the NFL for 2-3 years, and they finally got on that receiver 1. Josh Allen got Diggs, and all these quarterbacks are getting their weapons. And Lamar Jackson is just sitting there, going to the Ravens organization, saying, not only are you guys going to pay me my fucking guaranteed money, you're not going to give me my number 1 weapon like every other quarterback is getting. They're not treating him the way he should be treated. And it's pretty funny how Fields is already getting that weapon, and Lamar doesn't even have a contract.
We already know that the situation in Baltimore is a disaster.
It's fucked, yeah.
And he should leave.
Yeah, they're going to look back. They're a successful organization. They won a Super Bowl 10 years ago, and they're in a position where they can be competitive, and they got to make a couple moves. They got to commit to the quarterback, and they've been very reluctant. So I just know for sure that everything will change if you get a player like even a DJ Moore. If you get someone of that standard in Baltimore, you'll see a totally different Lamar Jackson. Just like I think you're going to see a totally different Justin Fields this year. Because he's going to have people he could fucking rely on to throw the ball, and he's not going to have to break all these rushing records as a quarterback. Yeah, I think it's great. It's cool. He ran the most rushing yards for a quarterback like ever in a game and almost in a season. That may be a good thing because it shows how good he is on the run. But that's also because he was so limited in the passing game that he was forced to fucking run all over the field, and it was so spectacular to watch. But at the same time, that's not going to win you games. So, it's
no matter who his receiver is. I know they just signed more, but I don't think it's going to be a similar situation to Jalen Hurts.
No.
Like, Jalen Hurts had to work on his arm, and he was very efficient with his arm.
Yeah.
But I don't think Fields is in that category. I don't think he's going to be a great runner, but at the same time, a respectable enough thrower. I just don't.
Yeah,
he's an athletic player, but I don't think he's going to be a dependable thrower of the football.
All right, it's debatable. Now is his opportunity to prove that he is dependable because he had the excuses. He didn't have weapons and said now he has to show because he has the weapons to throw to.
If we're talking fantasy, number one pick. But if we're talking about real life football, I don't know if he's the guy who's gonna win that Lombardi trophy. But it's
too early to tell. It's too early to tell. But from the looks of how that trade went down, it was literally like the Chicago Bears are just playing Madden. They're on their fucking screen, like, moving shit around, making trades like they could do whatever they want. That's really what that trade looked like. It was really impressive.
It's very early, but the season will start next year. We'll see how
Let's see what happens. Moving on.
Yeah, so moving on to Jimmy Garoppolo. He is headed to Vegas, baby.
He's going to Las Vegas. That's such a good fit for Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, for that personality.
Yeah, right?
He's with the Raiders now, 3 years, $72 million. As you all know, Carr is now with the Saints, and... yeah, do you think they upgraded at quarterback? Does this put the Raiders over the top? Does this put them in contention even? What do you think about it?
It's debatable. You know, you can't really say that Jimmy Garoppolo is an upgrade from Derek Carr, but if you really look at things, you know, Derek Carr was kind of getting sick and tired of being in Las Vegas. Jimmy Garoppolo has proved he can win games. He's surrounded by weapons, again, like he was with the Niners. So, you know, there wasn't really much in the quarterback market, so the Raiders got what was best available out there, and that was Jimmy Garoppolo. So, if you want to hear just off the bat whether it makes a difference, they weren't title contenders before getting him, and currently with Jimmy Garoppolo, they're probably still not contenders, especially being in that tough division. But I have some belief in Jimmy. I kind of like Jimmy. I know he's a good quarterback that'll win you games, but he won't be the reason that he'll win games per se. He'll do enough as a quarterback to make you plays. But when you look at him when he was with the 49ers, he had George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, McCaffrey, all these crazy playmakers that if you dump the ball off 2 yards, they'll make the play. They'll figure out the rest. They'll do yards after the catch, 70 yards, this, that, and there's not much weight on Jimmy's shoulders. And now he's going on a different team, you know, with just as good weapons, if not arguably better. I don't know. They have to. All right. I'm only saying Davante Adams.
Yes.
Davante Adams is now he got his best weapon he's ever had. Now he has the best weapon he's ever had with Davante Adams.
Yes, but the other guy.
Yeah, fine. But he still has a solid, you know.
Honestly, I don't know if that's the case because I think Davante is the best receiver in football, but many people would argue that Deebo Samuel is in that conversation. So we had Deebo. And he had McCaffrey, and he had Kittle. He doesn't have that in Vegas.
Yeah,
I think the skill position rule, the wide receiver and running back room in Vegas is way worse than it was.
Yeah, but it's also better than most teams. And actually, you know, the point you're making is basically kind of going to show out that Jimmy was good, and they won games. They went to a Super Bowl, and they went to, you know, an NFC Championship game because they had all these insane weapons, and they were making plays. And now he's going to a team with, you know, a really good weapon and then, like, solid receivers out. Like, I think Renfro, Adams, they also signed Jacoby Myers, who's not so bad, and then Josh Jacobs. They obviously lost Darren Waller, which, as a Giants fan, I'm fucking hyped that we have Waller. But going to the Raiders, I think the weapons are good enough for Jimmy Garoppolo to make them a competent team. And this is going to be a true testament to see if Jimmy Garoppolo can throw the ball down the field because he never had that pressure to throw the ball 40, 50 yards to George Kittle or to Deebo Samuel because they've made those plays themselves. If Jimmy Garoppolo cannot give Davante Adams at least 10 touchdowns next season and he can't put the ball in Davante Adams' hands and throw it low. I know Derek Carr did this and Rodgers did this. Devontae Adams is the guy that you're going to fucking launch the ball downfield and he's going to be somewhere over there. He has to pass it and he's going to catch it. He just needs to put it. Jimmy just needs to put it in the radius of Devontae Adams and he'll catch the ball.
He's not that guy.
And if he could get him 10 touchdowns, that's the problem.
He's a very safe option who,
safe.
with a low volume passing attack, he won't turn the ball over. He'll make smart decisions. He'll convert on third down.
Yeah.
But you can't ask him to be a game changer.
Exactly what I was going to say.
He has a very high floor.
Mm-hmm.
I think his floor is way higher than a lot of quarterbacks, especially including Derek Carr. But his ceiling is higher than Derek Carr. I think
that's a good way to put it.
I think Derek Carr at his best is better. He can put up way better numbers than Jimmy Garoppolo. But with the weapons that they have, you can't expect Jimmy Garoppolo to put together great numbers.
Right.
He doesn't really have much to work with, and like there aren't as many dynamic players on that offense like there were in San Francisco. When he was in San Fran, he had a lot of other players to depend on. He was like normally quarterbacks are like the best player on your offense. In San Francisco, he was not even top 3 or 4 or 5. They had so many other guys. They had people on the line better, on the O-line. They had McCaffrey, Kittle.
That was a really stacked team.
Nebo. They had so many other guys. Even Ayuk is good. But now he is like, he needs to make plays with his arm, and I don't see how he's going to be able to do that given like the weapons he has. He has Davante. I get it. But besides him, he doesn't have McCaffrey to dump it off to make plays with his legs. He doesn't have that. And also, don't get me started on the defense. Even the bottom 5, okay, in the league. San Fran was arguably the number 1 team.
They were the best defense in the NFL.
And given all the weapons they had on offense and arguably the number 1 defense, even with that, Garoppolo couldn't get it done. He was close in that Super Bowl with the Chiefs, but he gagged in the fourth quarter, 3 for 12 passing.
Yeah.
He overthrew
Emmanuel Sanders.
Yeah, it just wasn't a good showing given the playmakers he had.
That's why I think this is the difference between Derek Carr and Jimmy Garoppolo, and obviously Derek Carr has never been in a big game like that. But when the ball is put in Jimmy's hands and he's expected to make a play to win them a game, he won't show up. NFC Championship game against the Rams, similar thing. He had a bad fourth quarter. They were up in that game. They lost. He was in a position where they could have won that game. He was in a position where he could have won a Super Bowl, and he couldn't complete the job. So he's a guy that will be a game manager, and he's a good enough starting quarterback per se. And honestly, it's a crazy stat. He's 40-17 as a starter in the NFL, and it's because he's always been surrounded by successful, a strong team, strong rosters. But 40-17 is impressive, and he has shown that he can win games, but he'll never be the reason why you won a game. Fine. And if you want to win a Super Bowl, odds are you're going to win a game. You're going to win that game because of your quarterback. Yeah. And Jimmy Garoppolo has never displayed that, and he's never going to show that. So, it's just the way the Raiders are. They're going to be average, and whether it's Jimmy, whether it's Derek Carr, there's still other problems they need to worry about. For example, that defense. If they're winning games, it's going to be a fucking shootout, 38-35, like every game they've had last year, except Jimmy Garoppolo is throwing the ball instead of Derek Carr.
Yeah, like last year, the 49ers with Garoppolo were maybe scoring 24 points a game, okay? Pretty good.
Yeah.
But the defense was allowing like 12.
And hey, listen, Brock Purdy came in and then he was doing the same thing as that. That just shows how much of a system it is. The Niners are
I looked at the points per game numbers from each quarterback, the Lance, the Garoppolo, and Purdy.
Yeah.
It was like 2 games with Lance, but it was like 18 points with Lance, but then it was like 24 with Garoppolo, and then it was like 35 with Purdy. It was insane. They got better as he went down the QB depth chart.
It's crazy.
But yeah, so with Vegas, he can't be scoring 24 points a game because the defense is going to be allowing 30 points a game.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to have I definitely think they're going to have a losing record.
The only reason I give them hope is because of Devontae, and he's just going to carry that offense, and he'll figure it out with Jimmy. But the Chiefs are in that division.
So the
Chargers are in that division.
You're telling me you like Jimmy G and Devontae more than Carr, Waller, and Devontae?
No, I just like Devontae. Yo, by the way, did you see Devontae Adams posted this on his Instagram story after
something? I didn't read it, but
he said,
posted something.
Word for word, this is what he said after the trade, or after they signed Jimmy. I haven't talked in the last 3 weeks. Don't hit me about this shit. Thanks. If something so bad happened to you that you're literally not, I don't know if he's bullshitting, that you're literally not talking for 3 entire fucking weeks, Jimmy Garoppolo, I wish you luck because Devontae Adams is already not down for you. That's fucking crazy. And think about this.
Oh, you saw Josh Jacobs tweet?
Yeah, he's like, shit's sad, man. Yeah, nobody approves of this. Nobody. And listen, no, but that was because of Darren Waller. Yeah. But Josh McDaniels also was with Jimmy in New England. They're with the Patriots together, but whatever. Devontae Adams said, I haven't talked in the last 3 weeks. Don't hit me about this shit, whatever. It's so funny to look at it because he was with the Packers with Aaron Rodgers and had a crazy connection. And then he's like, all right, I'm excited. I'm going to Las Vegas now with my college quarterback, Derek Carr. Let's fucking make this shit happen. They couldn't even complete a full season together until Derek Carr left. And then Devontae Adams came out and said, I'm recruiting Rodgers now. Let's get fucking Rodgers back in this bitch. Let's play together in Las Vegas, see how that happens. And after all of that transpired, he ended up with Jimmy Garoppolo. If I'm Devontae Adams right now, I'd be fucking pissed. I'm not going to lie. I'd be fucking pissed.
It's all because Rodgers just like toying with everyone.
Rodgers has the Jets by the balls right now. We'll discuss Jets and Rodgers last, but moving on from Jimmy Garoppolo and everything, what do we think of Jalen Ramsey, who was at one point the best cornerback in football, arguably, who now got traded to the Miami Dolphins? Does this change your perspective on the Miami Dolphins? What do you think of their defense? And after this trade, would you consider the Miami Dolphins a legitimate Super Bowl contender?
Do you know the trade?
Do I know the trade? It was for a third-round pick and a bust of a tight end. I know this tight end that they got from the Dolphins only has like one career reception.
Okay.
But it was for a third-round pick.
Okay. Jalen Ramsey, he had an off year last year, but he's still only 28 years old. I still consider him a top 6 cornerback.
He's definitely still cornerback. He's entering like the end of his prime.
Yeah.
He probably has a good
Dude, he's only 20 years old. He could still obviously be a game changer in the secondary.
Yeah.
But listen, it all depends on Tua, in my opinion.
You're saying it's all on Tua?
It's all on Tua. It's all on Tua's health. If you look at the odds for Miami winning the title didn't change at all.
Oh, really?
It didn't. It's cornering. It doesn't really needle that much. But again, it all depends on Tua's health. Ramsey will be a pivotal point, a pivotal piece in that team winning the title if Tua, like I said, remains healthy, because he will make plays. He will flash in the playoffs. You'll notice Ramsey on the field. But if Tua gets concussed, or if he's out for however many games with whatever injury, then you won't even like remember that Ramsey signed with Miami or got traded to Miami. I think he's gonna be an afterthought if Tua doesn't get his no pun intended his head right.
Literally, that's a good way to put it. And can Tua stand on his own feet? Is that gonna happen this year? He's yet to show that. And before Tua was hurt, he fucking threw 6 touchdowns in a game at some point last year. Like, he was winning tough games for them. Once he got that first...
I remember that game.
That was insane. It was against the Ravens.
The Ravens.
That was a fucking... Dude, that game was insane. I never saw that side of Tua.
The Ravens blew a lot of leads that year.
Yeah, but also... that's true. But everybody was very skeptical about how is Tua Tagovailoa going to put the ball in Tyreek Hill's hands? Is he going to put it in Jalen Waddle's hands? He has. He showed that he could do that. Maybe he's a little bit of an underthrow, but he threw some deep touchdowns, 56-yard passes to Tyreek Hill. So that offense...
2 guys who finished in the top 10 receiving.
Exactly. Crazy. They were both balling week after week, and that's the thing. The Tua has his weapons if he can stay healthy. And that's the thing, because if he can stay healthy, I think Tua can be... He's a great quarterback. He can contend that he's up there with the other quarterbacks with these weapons especially. He's proved that with, a very small sample size. But when you're talking about Jalen Ramsey, like you said, he'll always be... notice whether he's getting burned or whether he's getting a stop. That's what happens when you're a good quarterback. It's kind of like a Trayvon Diggs. Like, for example, they won the Super Bowl with the Rams, but all Ramsey was the only thing Ramsey was known for that Super Bowl was getting burned by T. Higgins, getting burned by Jamar Chase. So he's definitely vulnerable as a corner, but pair him next to Xavier Howard, and that's a scary secondary. That's 2 players that will get stops, will cover your bet. 2 players that could both cover your best wide receiver on the same team. And it's going to be tough to go against that secondary. And they are becoming, a pretty solid defense and a pretty solid overall team. And I've also been hearing that there are discussions about the Dolphins potentially getting Jordan Poyer, who is safety on the Bills, if I'm not mistaken. He's a good playmaker. And if he also comes on that team, I think the Miami Dolphins are becoming, a hot spot for free agency. But if you just look at the grand scheme of things, the Dolphins have playmakers. When you're talking about Tua, Tyreek, Jalen Waddle, 3 really good offensive players. And then on the defensive end, Xavier Howard, Jalen Ramsey. They have talent. They have good coaching with Mike McDaniel. But once again, they're in a competitive division with the Bills and, the Jets, who are probably going to get Aaron Rodgers. So what's the ceiling for this team, pending, if everybody is healthy and Jalen Ramsey's on top of his game and Tua's healthy? What's the ceiling for the Dolphins?
So I just want to talk about the Patriots. It's crazy. Like 3 years ago, they were the number 1 team in the league.
Yeah.
Or 3 or 4 years
now
ago.
They're probably going to finish last in the division.
They're probably going to finish last. Yeah. And so the Jets, Rodgers is coming. We're going to talk about more about that later. But Jets are going to have Rodgers. Bills are gonna always be a top contender, and Miami, they may not win the division, but I think they could lock up that third or the second.
They made the playoffs last year with fucking Skylar Thompson. Like, they could still probably get a wild card spot at the minimum, and they can maybe, depending on who they match up against, they can make a nice playoff push. They're gonna have to win those divisional games. They're gonna have to beat the Bills. They're gonna have to beat the Jets. They're gonna have to win those games.
The AFC got a lot tougher this year.
Yeah.
Like, it gets tougher every year, it seems. But, like, I know they made the playoffs with Skylar Thompson, even though they didn't advance with him. But, like, I know they added Ramsey, but, like, there are a lot more impactful signings in the rest of, like other places in the AFC that might, like, dismiss the Ramsey signing.
I mean, hey, listen, Ramsey let up 7 touchdowns this past season, and that's, like, second most to corners. Like, he was letting up a lot of touchdowns, and people were throwing the ball towards him. And I think in this situation with the Dolphins, iron is going to sharpen iron during practice with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey guarding him. That's going to be fun to watch. I'm sure 7 or 8, 9 times out of 10, Tyreek is going to burn Jalen Ramsey in practice. But Ramsey still has it in him. He's still a dog. He's still going to get some stops. And I think he's going to make plays for the Dolphins. And with Xavier Howard on the other end of the ball, I think it's going to be really entertaining watching that defense. But discussing the cornerback conversation, the Dallas Cowboys, your Dallas Cowboys actually got Stephon Gilmore today, and I don't want to get too much into that trade, and I know you're happy because Gilmore still, has a little left in the tank.
I got to touch up on it.
Would you prefer, before you touch up, would you prefer a secondary room of Xavier Howard and Jalen Ramsey of the Miami Dolphins, or would you prefer what the Cowboys have now with Trayvon Diggs and Stephon Gilmore? Stop. Those are two really solid secondaries.
Okay. Gilmore... All right, Gilmore is 32 years old.
Wow, yeah, he's getting old.
But he's still a top 10.
Last season with the Colts, he was sick.
He was still good. He's still top 10. The thing is, if we're just going off shadow corners, he is easily a top 5 corner.
So, like, man-to-man coverage.
Yeah, he'll chase you along the field.
Yeah.
I love
Gilmore's
Gilmore. I love Gilmore.
But that's not Diggs's, that's not a strong suit.
Yeah.
You don't want to see him one-on-one against your best receiver.
He'll move around. But, what's it called? Diggs, I like Diggs because he is a former receiver. He has great hands, but he's not the best covered corner. Like he likes intercepting the ball. He does a lot of risky moves, but he doesn't love actually following you he doesn't love following the receiver. He likes following the ball. He loves looking at the ball, and he won't pay attention to his receiver. He's like,
he kind of plays it like a receiver.
Exactly. No, dude, he actually thinks he's a receiver when he's on the field. And because of that, he gets beat a lot. He'll give up a lot of yards, but he'll get interceptions.
That's for sure.
But if we're comparing them to Xavier Howard and Ramsey, as painful as it is, I would probably take Ramsey and Xavier Howard.
Yeah. Both of them have vulnerable corners with Diggs and Ramsey, who, like, you'll see them on the other end of highlights, and then, maybe even Xavier Howard, but him and Gilmore are more sharp, like, man-to-man, but I think they're both really solid secondaries, and they're going to get their opposing receivers. They're going to have tough times against them, but even same, I'd prefer the Dolphins secondary by a mile. Hold on. But what if, because I know this is, like, in my opinion, it's bullshit, but you never know with this motherfucker. Do you think there's a chance that Tom Brady comes out of retirement and potentially joins the Miami Dolphins?
You're giving me nightmares.
What do you mean stop it? What do you mean? It's possible.
Okay,
You can't tell me it's not possible.
I'll tell you why. Okay, so... I can't believe we're talking about it.
Bro, it's Tom Brady. Come on.
Okay, if you watched his farewell video,
yeah,
he was very emotional.
He was about to cry.
But
it's all an act.
You could just tell he was more sincere.
Yeah,
and listen, if he comes back, I think people are gonna lose respect for him. You can't retire twice.
I think that would be gangster if he comes back. Joins the Dolphins. Wins the Super Bowl.
I want him to come back just so he could suffer on a bad team and his career gets tainted.
He suffered with the Bucs. You hate him?
I loved his last year with the Bucs.
Really?
It was music to my ears watching him struggle.
Listen, Tom Brady doesn't like you either, all right? He hears you. Here's what you're saying.
He knows my type.
What's your type?
My Jets type, yeah.
Yeah? But I think it'll be really funny if he comes back to the NFL. I would love for that to happen.
You're saying he would join the Dolphins because of speculation.
Listen, I hear one media member talk about it, and I'm like, all right, it's possible. You better fucking join the Dolphins because that would fucking flip the NFL upside down more than Rodgers going to the Jets.
If Tua gets hit and then does this with his hands...
Yo.
As messed up as it is.
Brady's going to come out of Fox, fuck the broadcasting shit. I got one more in me.
Yo, I don't know if this is a lie, but I heard that he put the broadcasting on the back burner.
What do you mean?
I gotta look this up quickly, and then we'll move on to the final topic. I heard he's doing stand-up.
Nah, I heard about that shit,
that
bro.
true?
I heard about all that shit. It's all fake shit, bro. That's all. I don't want to hear any of that bullshit. Tom Brady wants to play football. He wants to play football. He wants to be a quarterback again.
TMZ report is a joke.
He has no TMZ report, and that's how you know it's a joke. Tom Brady on fucking stand-up.
He's the funniest jokester.
I don't know how that would work, but Tom Brady still doesn't have his wife and kids. He's sitting in his room all alone, all bored and everything. He wants to throw that football. He has a chance to throw to Tyreek Hill on one side, Jalen Waddle on the other side. I think that it's possible. What?
You're living in dream world.
I am living in dream world, but with Tom Brady, he showed us last year anything is fucking possible. He won 7 rings. He retired. He came out of retirement. He'll do it again. He'll do it again, Cyrus. He'll do it again. He didn't do much, but he showed that.
Worst division in the league, and he had a subpar record.
He made the playoffs.
The worst division in the league.
Hey, he's 45 years old. Cut him some slack. He has one more in him, though. He has one more in him. Fresh start with the fucking Miami Dolphins. You never know. Anything's possible.
I loved how I can't believe he doubled down on just one more season and you lose your.
It was really bad.
Dude, not only did you
really
lose
bad.
another season, but you lose your $500 million wife.
Yeah.
It was a bad
There was definitely more to it than that. It was definitely more to it, but
wait, that was.
he chose football over family.
And that's exactly what
He chose football over
he
family.
couldn't give up the competitive part of his.
So fuck it, one more year.
And yeah, now he has nothing to lose.
Literally, real talk right now. What he's doing right now, he's probably chasing his wife, and for all we know, he's gonna do that nonsense stand-up comedy, and for all we know, he's gonna be great at it because he's Tom Brady. He's the fucking goat.
All right, so speaking of Brady's arch rival when he was in the AFC East, we're talking about the Jets, okay?
New York Jets,
and they are inches away from signing, in my opinion, the most dynamic thrower of the football ever.
Can this please be the last time we fucking talk about this situation? Aaron Rodgers is making me lose my mind about this shit, bro.
I'm sick of it, but I'm not sick of it, but I'm getting too antsy.
I'm getting too antsy. Just something happened. Schefter, fucking tweet right now. If my phone's recording, whatever the camera's recording, Schefter just announced that already. Please, like, we're sick of this.
If I wasn't a partial Jets fan,
yeah,
I would hate this story. I would hate it.
I'd be sick of it.
Eating me up. It's like taking over the media.
Yeah,
but there's literally inactivity. There's nothing going on.
I'm reading just a bunch of nothingness these days. They're like, all right, we get it. Yeah, Rodgers has a wish list of players, this, that. Can you just fucking sign the contract? Can you just join? And honestly, by the time this is out, it's Tuesday right now. Tomorrow, Aaron Rodgers did announce that he is going to be on the Pat McAfee show at 1 o'clock, and that's my assumption is when he's going to announce that he's going to the Jets. And so we're going to discuss under the impression that Rodgers is on the Jets. But what do you think of Lazard literally signing with the Jets today? Like,
so today,
that just locks it down. Now it's 100% happening.
Today it was reported that Rodgers made a wish list of all the receivers he would like the Jets to go after. And it was Mercedes Lewis, it was Randall Cobb, it was Aaron Lazard.
And Odell.
And Odell. That's interesting. And Cowboys fans are getting nervous.
They should. But the NFL should be nervous.
Yeah, but the Jets listened to his commands, and they signed Lazard to a 4-year, $44 million contract.
Not bad. Solid.
Yeah, last year, career year, 60 catches, nearly 800 yards, 6 touchdowns in 15 games. He's a good receiver.
He'll produce.
And to have him compliment him with Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall, it's going to look like a really good offense. But it would just pain me if they do all these things to try to lure Rodgers in, and then he ultimately says,
fuck it, I'm retiring.
Pull Brady.
If he pulls a Brady, then he'll come back out of
do that. I'm looking at tweets, and it's a lot of like Rodgers is the new GM of the Jets, and yeah.
Listen, at this point on, nothing that Rodgers will do will surprise me. If he goes on another darkness retreat, it won't surprise me. If he takes meth, it won't surprise me. If he comes out tomorrow saying he's a cocaine addict, it wouldn't surprise me. Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers. And there's nothing we could do about that. But all of that aside, he is a freak on the field. He is sick throwing that ball. And now I can see why the Jets are literally doing everything they can. The Jets are whoring themselves out. They're literally getting their titties out. Like, come on, Aaron. Come on. Come join New York. We need you. They're doing everything. You want Randall Cobb? We'll give you Randall Cobb. You want Alan Lazard? We'll give you Alan Lazard. You want fucking, I don't know, you want Joe Rogan to join the Jets? We'll do that too. Anything you want, Aaron Rodgers, we'll do it as long as you play. That's the way it looks.
I do this because I've said this before, he had Green Bay by the balls. And Green Bay said like this week or last week, you know what? We give up. We don't really want you. go to the Jets.
And now he has the Jets by the balls.
It's like a parasite, and like now he's affecting the Jets.
Oh my
In a good way.
God.
But now the Jets are like, you want Lazard?
He's so good at football that they don't even give a fuck. They'll do whatever they can. They'll make themselves look like fools in public. But listen, if they end up getting him, who cares? You fucking did it. You did what you had to do to get him. So now it's just a matter of fucking winning games and making plays with him. But I think honestly, the way you're looking at this right now, I've never seen something to the point where, like, as of right now, he's not on the Jets. I've never seen a player have so much control over a team that he's not even on. He's not even under roster, and he's going to the Jets like, hey, Jets, like, even though I'm probably going to, and I didn't necessarily commit to you guys yet, if you don't mind, try getting Randall Cobb, try getting Mercedes Lewis, sign Al Lazard, pay him $40 million. Oh, and by the way, if you could get Odell Beckham Jr. too, and that would be fucking awesome. Bye. I'll figure out if I'm joining you guys later. Like, it's crazy. It's kind of like LeBron.
Like, have it in my notes.
Right?
There's the joke with LeBron. It's Le GM.
Yeah, Le GM.
Yeah.
It's literally like that, but it's like in a whole different light. And I remember also Kawhi, when he was joining the Clippers, he said, like, it's obviously different because it's fucking Paul George, but he went to the Clippers ownership. He said, if I'm going to join you guys, get Paul George. Yeah. And they did that. And I think it's so funny, like, seeing Aaron Rodgers do the same thing, but, like, on a whole new level.
It's hilarious with Rodgers.
They're just getting the Jets to sign, like, these random sorry-ass receivers. Nah, Randall Cobb was good and shit like that. Bro, next thing you know, he's going to tell them to fucking pick up Jordy Nelson. Like, I don't know. Like, who else do you want, Rodgers? Like, it's crazy.
Jordy Nelson was good.
Jordy Nelson was a gangster. He was one of his best receivers, obviously, besides Adams. But if Rodgers joins that team and he's back to throwing to Lazard, who he already has a connection with, Offensive Rookie of the Year, and Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, who's balling, and then you have Sauce on the other side of the field, bro, that's a good team. The Jets are gonna, and we just discussed the Dolphins, the Bills.
Their pass catchers. Okay, I like Lazard. I like Garrett Wilson. They're not number ones. They're two.
Garrett Wilson can be a number one.
I don't know.
It's been 1 year, bro. It's been 1 year. If you're winning Offensive Rookie of the Year as a wide receiver, usually that's a quarterback. It's not always a quarterback award. But, come on, he's going to be a wide receiver one for that team.
You think a wide receiver one is like a top 10, 15?
Top 15. Yes.
He's going to be a top 15?
The way he played last year, Garrett Wilson managed to get like around 1,000 yards.
Early, you never know.
Yeah, but peak early. He played 1 year. He was a top 5 pick, top 10 pick for the Jets, and he had Zach Wilson, Joe Flacco, and Mike fucking White throwing him the ball, and he still managed to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. Imagine Aaron Rodgers throwing him the ball. Totally different thing. Totally different offense. Aaron Rodgers is going to a fresh start with players he has chemistry with. He wants Cobb there. He wants Mercedes Lewis there for the veteran presence. Alan Lazard could still play. Rodgers puts the ball in his hands, and he was basically their wide, other than Christian Watson, he was their wide receiver one.
Most of the season he was.
But Garrett Wilson is going to be wide receiver one. He'll get there, whether it's this year, next year, I don't know. But after all of this, I just feel so bad for Zach Wilson. Nobody in the Jets organization believes in Zach Wilson, and seeing Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner go publicly recruit Aaron Rodgers, burn his cheesehead, is just a whole other message saying to Zach Wilson, we don't fucking want you. Please do not play for us. We'll do whatever we can to get Aaron Rodgers.
It reminds me of the Russell Westbrook situation.
Kind of, yeah.
But like in the locker room and they don't want him.
But like, what happens if they don't get Aaron Rodgers and they need to play Zach? Like, it's over for Zach Wilson. It's over.
In terms of what? Respect in the locker room?
Respect, like, he can't start. His confidence is down the drain. Like, what does he have now?
The thing is, I think they're so confident in Rodgers.
Yes.
The Packers,
rightfully so, bro.
Like Rodgers already verbally agreed with each other.
Yes.
Yeah, we're getting this deal done.
Yeah.
It's just pending on Rodgers.
Yeah.
And I think that they have the utmost confidence in Rodgers signing. They gave up on the Carson Sakes. Their other quarterbacks.
They're all in on Rodgers.
Yes.
They're all in on Rodgers.
I think they're not just desperate about it where they're all in on Rodgers, but it's 50-50. I think it's very, very likely that Rodgers comes to New York. It's like suspiciously taking way too long.
Something is going on that we're missing, I feel like. It's like weird. I don't know if it's just us being sports fans being extremely impatient, but like I don't know what it is.
How with it?
It's always Rodgers.
Do you think Rodgers is afraid of the New York media? I think it's possible.
No, I think he looks forward to it.
I know, because he had a lot of slander in Green Bay, and the media in New York is harsh, and they just come at you. There's a lot of podcasts in New York. There's a lot of people talking about it. I don't know. They're swarming him.
I think you're right, but I think when you compare the media pressure in New York from past quarterbacks, Geno Smith, Sam Darnold, Zach Wilson, all these quarterbacks were young quarterbacks with the Jets, and the Jets media, the New York media, was trying to shut them down and say, you guys aren't what you're supposed to. You're not built for New York. You're young. Rodgers has already proved himself. He won a Super Bowl. He's been arguably the best quarterback. And now he's coming into New York. He just needs to play his game and tune out all the noise. Because once he goes to the Jets, there's going to be a lot of noise. And, for example, like a player like Eli Manning, same New York media, he was getting all that shit, but then he won 2 Super Bowls. But Rodgers has already established himself as a quarterback. Now it's just a matter of
12 years ago.
Now it's just a matter of how he can adapt and adjust and kind of brush out all the noise, because there's going to be a lot of that. So, and like you said, how has Rodgers responded to media in the past?
He's a blame deflector, and he blames his receivers a lot.
Yeah,
he'll call them out for being rookies.
You know what's funny about that? He has complained. And he says, the Packers aren't putting the right weapons around me, and I need more star player makers.
He had good points when they signed Jordan Love. He was right to call doing that, but
I just think it's funny how he would complain allegedly that, the Packers need to get me better receivers. Passive aggressively, he'd say to the media, all this stuff. But then he proceeds to not only say my receivers suck at Green Bay. He's now he's going to the Jets and says, I want my receivers to come with me to Green Bay. It makes no sense. I thought you needed better receivers, and now you want them to come with you to New York. I think everything that Aaron Rodgers does, I'm never going to question his game. Once he's on the field, bro, Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers.
He has choked in the past few
years. He'll have his moments, but
Aaron
Aaron Rodgers will do his thing, whether he'll choke or not, whatever the case may be. When he's off of the field, he's so confusing. There's always something going on. He's always, putting teams in frenzies, and the media always so confused, and, nobody knows what's going on. And in my opinion, just because he's going to go sign with the Jets, and he's going to be with the Jets within no time, that's not going to change anything. So you're right, whether it's the media, whether it's Rodgers tripping on shrooms, or whatever the case may be, something is going to go down while he's in New York, and there's going to be whole new reports about something. It's always something with Rodgers. It doesn't matter what team he'll be on.
I can't wait.
I can't wait.
I don't even care if the Jets don't win. I just want a good quarterback finally during my lifetime to be with the Jets. I just can't wait for that to happen. By next week it might happen.
I never met a Cowboys fan and a Jets fan in the same person. It's very interesting.
I grew up as a Jets fan because of my brothers, and Dez Bryant was my favorite receiver growing up, and I fell in love with him.
Yes,
I loved it. And who doesn't like the Cowboys? They have fans all over the world.
I don't like the Cowboys. Come join the dark side. Come join the Giants. We got Darren Waller. Daniel Jones is fucking the next Tom Brady. Come on, man. Come on.
He's on the court. He's on the thrower.
No, we're good. We're good. We got Saquon. We got everybody. We're good. Join the dark side, bro. You're going to regret wanting to root for the Jets. Aaron Rodgers is going to cause you a bunch of stress. They're not going to win a Super Bowl. They're going to win some games. Where do you think they finish in the division if he ends up with the Jets?
Rodgers?
Yeah.
In the division?
I don't know if the Bills are going to finish first. I feel like the Dolphins and the Jets are getting better, and the Bills kind of didn't do anything to improve their roster.
Yes, but they're not getting necessarily old. And
they still have Allen.
And there's rumblings of Derrick Henry.
Nah, I heard about that.
I think
also Dalvin Cook is shadily on the block.
I should know that.
He may leave Minnesota. I heard, but the Titans are trying to trade Henry.
Yeah.
Shit, man.
But yeah, I think Rodgers definitely gonna make the playoffs. They finish second behind Buffalo. I think Buffalo is just gonna win 12+ games in that division as they always do, but they're gonna fall.
And you think the Jets finish over the Dolphins?
Yeah. Easily. And I think from a betting perspective, you take the Jets to surpass their win total. I think it's probably...
I think they're at 9.5 right now.
No.
I think they're
Rodgers can win 10+ games?
With that team. With eight. That's one of his best teams. Because of the defense also. The Packers defense has let them down.
10 games? It's a very competitive division and conference.
What?
Rodgers, New York.
I think... Come on, man. I think it's interesting how... Brett Favre had the same exact. His career went the same way. How he was in Green Bay for majority of his career, and then he went to the Jets. So history is repeating itself right now.
Just for 1 year, and then he went to Minnesota for 2 years.
Yeah, I think honestly, looking at the whole grand scheme of it, it's gonna be crazy to see Rodgers on a different team. He's been a fucking Packer for 15+ years.
Can't wait. I would love to see.
And now watching him go to the Jets is gonna be interesting. And if he manages to finesse a couple Packers players to go with him. The whole thing about, teams having most control and then a player just coming in and doing whatever the fuck he wants. It's because he's good, obviously, but I didn't know a player could have so much say. And
he's just charming. He knows how to
Listen,
and chance people around it.
he made the Jets just look like a bunch of sluts for him. That's it. They hoard out for Aaron Rodgers, and it's hopefully going to pay off.
There's a bunch of horse.
Yeah.
I think I'll pay for him.
You'll pay for Aaron Rodgers? Yeah. I mean, listen, like you said in the past episodes, how their window is probably 3 years with Rodgers, so worth
Two
it. Right?
great years.
All this nonsense and shenanigans they're going through, worth it? Worth the gamble?
I'm as a New Yorker, I've been supporting the Knicks. Like I've been disappointed endlessly.
We're just two depressed New York fans.
Yeah, like we've already been depressed for years, and I don't mind this optimism. I think it's like valid optimism because I think it looks good. We're gonna get Rodgers. I think it's worth the mental headache.
Yeah.
I like it.
It'll be a big pounding headache. It'll be a migraine, that's for sure. But I'm excited because it'll only mean more shit to talk about on the 2 Minute Drill podcast.
Yeah.
And that's a wrap for the 2 Minute Drill podcast. Thank
Yep.
you all for watching. Episode 5 is officially in the books, Cyrus.
Yep. Guys, please, that like button is looking pretty lonely. Okay?
Stamp that shit!
I need you to
Stamp that shit!
I need you to give it a little love tap and just just give it a little love tap. And then while you're in the like section, you might as well just leave a few words in the comment section.
Yeah.
And you know what? Complete the Triple Crown.
Triple Crown.
And then share the fucking video.
Like, subscribe, share, all that shit. You know, listen. Treat that like button the way treat that like button the way the Jets treat Aaron Rodgers, because that's what we need. We gotta grow. We're just getting started up in this, and I'm extremely excited for what's to come. You know, NBA playoffs coming soon. We got March Madness. I don't know shit about March Madness, but my guy over here is an expert. He makes gangster brackets, so
I wish I'll talk about it next week. But actually, fuck it, I'll just spit it out right now.
what you got? Who's winning it all?
I don't know. I like Kansas, but Alabama is very well balanced.
Okay.
But yeah,
What do you gotta say before we wrap it up?
Yeah, I think Final Four is Houston, Bama. I don't even know.
Don't embarrass me, son.
I gotta look at the.
Don't embarrass you, son.
I gotta look at the fucking.
All right. Stay tuned for Cyrus' picks next week.
I'm under pressure.
He's under pressure. He can't handle the pressure. So he would never be an athlete. But
Duke, and Kansas. Fucking.
Duke and Kansas. Fucking Kansas going back to back. Thank you guys for watching episode 5. Looking forward to the next episode. Thank you guys for watching. Like he said, like, subscribe, comment, all that shit. You know what it is. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next episode. And peace.